everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Champions League. This is going to be our Week 2 stream coming right up into the NACL qualifiers this weekend, and so we are going to preview a couple of teams who are going to be competing there this upcoming couple of days. It's going to be return of the Middlesticks taking on Cosa Gamers squad. My name is Gordo. I'm joined by Bonfire tonight. TDS is going to be out for the week. Bonfire, welcome to the ACL. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. Happy to fill in. TDS out with, if you're unaware, wisdom teeth surgery, which I'm not sure if I should be disclosing or not, but out for the night, and so we wish him all the best. I actually, going off topic already, as you might know, have not had my wisdom teeth taken out. I've heard it's very painful, so I understand him needing somebody to fill in. But I'm happy to step in here with my good friend Gordo and mediocre friend Caddy behind the scenes, and we should have a really good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I got mine out a couple of years ago. It was not fun, but I hear the experience varies greatly. So see how you can end up doing there. But let's take a look at these teams coming in tonight. Middlesticks and Cosa Gamers squad both sitting with 1-0 starts. They both 2-0'd their series last week, so are going to be competing to top their group against one another here tonight. Return of the Middlesticks, of course, coming off of a great run in the ACL playoffs last spring, whereas the Cosa Gamers squad, they're new faces to the league, new faces to me in general, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring us on the Rift here tonight.
Yeah, I both of these teams new to me. I'm normally an APL regular, but I'm excited to be in this league. I will say, you talk about the open qualifiers. The fact that both of these teams make that top 30 and Return of the Middlesticks sit atop their counterpart tonight, having them at 18. Cosa, I believe you mentioned it was 30. So
Yes.
just barely eking themselves in. Return of the Middlesticks, a mid-table squad that can very much make a dent. But it all comes down to actually how they play. And we are, I believe, going to get ourselves into the draft very soon. So it'll be interesting to see how both of these teams kind of prioritize and look at different picks, especially ahead of the open qualifiers, because this meta is slowly and surely getting defined out.
Absolutely. And, going to be fun to see. Return of the Middlesticks, ACL regulars here. Quick shout out to them, by the way. They are doing a charity run this month where they are donating to the Trevor Project for every kill that their organization gets in competitive matches. And that's not just Middlesticks Premier, that's across all their other teams and all their other leagues as well. So shout out to them for that one. Aegis is going to be contributing a portion as well to join them in that effort. And yeah, it's going to be great. Going to get some money given over to charity, and going to be fun to check out this new Middlesticks squad as they are returning, but changing out a couple of players here. They've got Kuki Kruk and Dragowski joining the team for this split, both taken off of other ACL rosters last spring. Will be really cool to see how the team kind of starts to come together here. This is one of my big favorite teams to watch in the upcoming NACLQ and in the Aegis Champions League in general, because I love how they've rebuilt from within the ACL. Don't think that was really intentional or not, but I really like seeing other players that we've seen play in this league come together in new combinations.
Yeah, you always want to see the dream team get rebuilt. If it was always Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, no one would watch it. They'd be 50 years old. You got to get LeBron and Chris Paul in there. I'm getting my sports references out early, I promise. I do want to say something league-related, finally. They sticks, but I think they actually have to be worried about another mid laner, which is Ari. She's had pretty incredible presence so far in this young split, looking at an 85% presence, 10 picks, 7 bans, one of the safest mid laners to go. And so it'll be if they keep an eye on her, or if they keep an eye on the other two kings and queens of the picks and bans, which is Zeri and Emilio, 100% and 95% respectfully. So we have not seen any 3 of those in the bans so far. All 3 of these, are actually all 6 of these, or 5 I suppose, are pretty not high up in the presence, but you'd imagine they see a lot more time in the solo queue ladder, as that is going to be the Zeri banned out, and keeping that 100% presence alive.
Yeah, we've seen some opposite approaches to the bot lane between these two teams, at least in their week 1 matches. Cosa Gamers squad taking Lucian onto the Rift for Joker in that bottom lane ADC role in both games, whereas Boy Wonder was busting out the Yuumi in both games last week. But it looks like that might change here as he is hovering Emilio. They know that that one's going to be available, super high priority, as you said, and that's going to get locked in for Middlesticks.
Yeah, Emilio, just one of the best champions in the game, and I would argue the best support in the game, trailed only slightly by the Yumi. Emilio, so strong at everything that they do, easily the best enchanter, good counter engage, the campfire keeps everyone warm, and shooting rockets from across the map, it feels like an incredible pickup. A Taric as a counter is interesting because Emilio in themselves isn't really. That being said, Taric is still good into Emilio, and so I'm just interested because I haven't really seen that a lot as a counter to Emilio. I think every team's kind of scrambling to find out how they can kill the boy wonder.
Definitely going to be fun to check out here. I love that Taric lock in here. Not a champion that we see a lot out of Corky / Dad Stealer. I think he's going to be going by Corky as his comp ID, but I think the solo queue account remains Dad Stealer. That's going to be a fun one to be saying on cast here. And they're going to pair it up with the Aphelios for Joker in this bottom lane. So going to be an interesting duo, one that we don't get to see a whole bunch of. I really want to see if he considers this Taric to be, some sort of special Emilio counter, or what exactly the logic behind it is, because this is a super early Taric pick.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly early. It does kind of create kind of a difficult situation for Return of the Middlesticks. Obviously, when you're going into a Taric, every single engage is going to be stunted just a little bit at least. And then you also have the issue of obviously the Taric ultimate. With the Nico pick, really don't have to be about that engage. The frisbee of a root, it can be thrown safe enough distance, and the Nico is going to be picked up with those new changes. Has seen a lot of play in the jungle and in the mid lane, and in response, the Rengar. So the hunter wants to kill the prey. The question is, do they know what the prey is? Are they able to count the minion waves and the number of raptors?
Yeah, this is something that Varker, I'm gonna say Varker. It's way easier to pronounce. Has been bringing out some really interesting picks in the jungle here for the Cosa Gamers squad. Played Rengar and Nocturne last week, so breaking the jungle meta a little bit here, and is gonna keep doing that with the Rengar pick. I really like this one paired up with the Taric in particular. I love to see these super mobile junglers able to carry that stun around with them. Meanwhile, the Nico has been super high priority ever since her last rework. It's just super hard to keep track of that champion with how stealthy she can be, and the base stats, they do a fair bit to help out, as well as her abilities have just gotten stronger, and we've seen quite a few very powerful lane performances in the mid lane just out of the Nico, straight up solo killing people.
Yeah, Nico has been an absolute issue in every single league. Gao can get full, or if Gao can pull off tricks in the LPL, you'd imagine that the ACL can see its fair amount of shenanigans. So keep an eye out on this Nico switching into random things and causing mayhem across the rift. What we won't see is an Aatrox, we won't see a Wukong, and we will not see that Ahri that I aforementioned earlier. Just such a strong mid laner. As my friend who doesn't play professional League of Legends, but is a good friend of mine, says, she is the easiest, most intense champion you can ever play. She's super easy with her combo, and then suddenly you're dashing everywhere and trying to get the backline, but she does a lot, and so will be banned out alongside that Gwen. So AP bans from the side of Return of the Middlesticks, and it kind of, you look at CSG and they struggle in that sense.
Yeah, they definitely do. So we'll see what will be locked in here. We've still got top laners on the board for both teams. There's a mid yet to be locked in for Cosa. There's a jungler yet to be locked in for Middlesticks here. So we'll see what they want to end up going for. It is going to be a blind Ornn taken for Lion Eyes in the top lane for the Cosa Gamers squad. So we're going to play things a little safe up there and give it an opportunity for this Rengar to maybe focus more on the bottom side. I'm curious to see if Cookie Crook is going to try to punish this, because I will say this guy, he's got some carries in his pool. He plays a fair bit of Olaf, plays a fair bit of Jax, and he's a grinder. He's got so many solo Q games already this season, and I'm sure he's going to want to seize this opportunity to maybe bully an Ornn around, hovering around potentially a Maokai for Dragowski. That is a Poppy lock-in. This could be for Cookie Crook in the top lane. He does play a lot of Poppy as well.
Yeah, you could see the Poppy top. If you look at the bans, Olaf Jax being banned out, it's interesting. Obviously, all speculation, but Cookie Crook might have had his champ pool shrunken just a little bit. Maokai being hovered would mean double tanks for the top jungle combo. It does feel like there's enough damage with the Jinx and the Nico, but is there enough consistent damage is the one concern. They are going to lock in. On the other side of things, with the Ornn and the Taric, Cosa Gamers have done a pretty good job with themselves this draft. The only concern, obviously, Rengar into a Poppy really struggles, but as long as Rengar is able to avoid the Poppy and blow up the lanes, I do think that Cosa Gamers have come out just a little bit on top so far.
Yeah, we'll see what they're going to round out for the Cosa Gamers squad here. They've still got a mid laner to select, and they are going to go for this Lissandra. So a champion that we often see to try to neutralize these mid lane matchups, and is definitely not one that is likely to get solo killed. Super safe here, but really puts a lot of the eggs into the Rengar and Aphelios basket to be able to really represent the damage threat for these teams, and going to mean that you're really just setting up for those guys. A lot of this is going to be in the pocket of Joker to be able to dish out the DPS in these fights and end up working their way through the tanks of the Poppy and the Maokai. If Aphelios goes down, they're not going to have the kind of sustained damage that you need to be able to deal with those tanks.
Yeah, I gotta say, I would have preferred to see kind of a high AP, maybe low mobility mid laner. I was keeping an eye on the Cassiopeia, somebody that's just able to just push out so much damage, consistent damage alongside the Aphelios, because you've got the Taric, right? You've got the Ornn. Lissandra already going to struggle when you're going into a Poppy. Yes, a good lane into the Nico, but I'm with you. I think that they might have a damage problem, and if this Lissandra gets set behind, this Maokai and this Poppy are going to be nigh unkillable. Aphelios and Rengar are just going to bounce off like Nerf bullets. And so I think that's the biggest concern from Cosa Gamers side of things, though. Not a ton of damage on return to the mid lane either. So it's going to come down to a who's the last one standing war between these two teams. A lot of beefy, tanky members. These might be some long extended fights, and the Jinx and the Aphelios might end with over 100,000 champion damage by the time this one ends.
Yeah, I could definitely see that coming through here with the big tanky front lines available for both teams. I don't know, if you dump damage into an ulting Taric, does it count towards your damage numbers? I think not. I think it all gets immune, but still, there's going to be a lot of survivability available for both teams here. We'll see how that ends up impacting whether these AD carries are going to be able to pop off and carry the way that they want to. And this Nico, of course, going to remain the big wild card. You know, Rengar going to be plenty of a wild card in his own right, but the Nico being able to stealth his minions, being able to sneak around his wards, it's still super powerful. It's still super new, so players are really not used to looking out for it yet. As you said, people in LPL are falling for it. I know that people in the ACL are falling for it.
Well, the ACL is, of course, the superior league, so you never know. But jokes aside, 108 obviously has quite a lot on their shoulders, because at the end of the day, you talked about, right, if the Nico's able to get behind, blow up this Aphelios, the consistent damage is just kind of not there for Cosa Gamers, and so quite a lot is going to be on the shoulders of this Aphelios. Survive, push out the damage that we know can push out, then it could be trouble. But if Nico can get in the way, can, you know, throw a wrench in the cog, that could be a pretty big problem for Casa Gamers. But again, this is all theoretical. We do, right? We just throw out scenarios, situations, doomsdays, best possible case scenarios, and then the game happens and we're proven either right or wrong. If it's my case, wrong. If it's Gordo, almost always right. He's a real smart guy, but it should be interesting. Both of these drafts are at least different. I think there was a Cadro clip going around quite a while ago about how boring drafts have gotten. At least we're seeing a little bit of differences.
Yeah, no, I like to see these guys leaning into their signature champions a little bit here. Love to see the Rengar coming through for the Cosa Gamer squad. Love to see the Poppy top coming through for Kooky Krook. You know, a player that we've seen around here for quite a while and is always one to go back in towards his own champion. It's going to be really cool to see how that slots into this Middlesticks squad, who historically had been a really top focused team when they still had Hoarder in the roster. We're trying to branch out towards the end of last split with the addition of Boy Wonder, and I think proved that they could do that quite successfully as they were making their playoffs run. So that's kind of what I'm on the lookout for from this Middlesticks squad. I want to continue to see that growth. I want to continue to see them being able to play through Max and play through Puppe, and this is that kind of draft, right? Poppy is not going to be your solo carry in the top lane. It's going to be a lot on this Jinx, a lot on this Nico, and I want to see how they're going to be able to execute on that game plan.
Well, Gordo, I want to see your camera, but alas, we are at an impasse right now.
It'll happen.
It'll happen eventually. It'll come back, you know. Hey, you can have your return fire on me once my Wi-Fi goes out. We each have our own little demons in that sense. No, I think that if you're a Return of the Middlesticks fan, obviously you don't have to be concerned, right? You're in a fantastic position. The analysts, everyone who watches the NACLQs, think you're the 18th best team. You've got a lot of doubters, but you've also got a lot of people behind you. You're kind of in the quintessential position, and this is where champions are made. You're doubted, but you still have a lot of support behind you. That being said, this is kind of a game to prove to yourself and everyone that you are here for a reason. And you said it perfectly. This is basically obviously not a script. The ACL is for money. People want to win the whole thing, yada yada yada. But this is your, NACLQ's coming up. Let's prove to everybody that we have a chance to make it, all the way to the NACL. And then on the other side of things, if you're Casa Gamers, it's, no one really believes in us. We're the worst of the best. But if we can beat Return of the Middlesticks, build some confidence and take it into Saturday and Sunday's tilts.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see that confidence building for both of these teams coming into what are going to be huge weekends for the both of them. And also, top in the group, not too shabby either. Going to matter a lot for that playoff seeding. These inter-group matches that take up the first 4 weeks, these are really where you're going to make your stand and where you're going to have huge influence over where you end up seated coming time for those double elimination playoffs. There's only 4 other teams in their group. You're only going to be playing each of them once. These, if you're Middlesticks or Cosa Gamer squad, are going to be the stronger opponents that you're going to face in these upcoming weeks. So this matchup really could very easily be what determines who's first and who's second in the group right on its own. Definitely going to be a big one to win for both of these squads. We're going to throw it to a quick break here while we get loaded onto the Rift for game number 1. We'll see you all in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We are on to the Rift for game number 1 between Return of the Middlesticks and Cosa Gamer Squad here in the Aegis Champions League. Both of these teams topping their groups right now, looking to get themselves up to 2-0 and looking to get themselves one step closer towards a high seed in these playoffs.
Yeah, and it all starts with a 5-man bot, Cosa Gamers believes, but it doesn't look like they're going to face any opposition right now. A Warden Tribus should alert members of Return of the Middlesticks to this tomfoolery, and already we're going to see some pings, some question marks, and finally a ward going down. So Lion Eyes giving a quick +1 in chat, you'd like to imagine, but not really much else than that.
All right. Middlesticks moving still as a single collective. Gonna head up the river, not looking for that delayed invade, or at least they're gonna send Lion Eyes back. But see what Cosa Gamer Squad are going to be able to get done here. They look like they're inching up for a delayed invade, want to at least get some vision on that red buff, and doesn't look like Middlesticks is going to be able to respond, so will at least be a tiny advantage.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they roll us 4 or just 3. With Heal It Up going mid, I just don't think there's any way Return of the Middlesticks is coming. Although I say that, Dragonowski is going to actually start on the Raptors instead. Might have some insider knowledge that we're unaware of, and now they know. And so there could be a roam here from the Nico.
Yeah, it's a 3-on-3. Heal It Up has already done so much work to push in the mid lane that it's going to be a huge loss for Max if he actually comes to respond. They are going to smite it away. It goes over to Varker, who's now going to be able to force Dragowski to flash over the wall to chase him down. Joker's here as well, and that's first blood to the Rengar. Varker picks up the first kill of the game for Cosa Gamers.
Yeah, I really love how they played that out. Dragonowski did not have smite up, had just used it on the Raptors to try to be able to contest that red buff. And so once Varker was able to get that healing from the red buff on him, it was an instant go button. And that Rengar damage early, man, it is not... It's honestly kind of insane. I don't think anybody was expecting that, especially, least of all, Dragonowski had to burn the flash, and then Varker saw blood in the water, took advantage of that, and was the first blood over to the side of CGS.
A great start there for the Cosa Gamers, really making that delayed invade incredibly successful. Love how Heal It Up was able to enable that with the early push. Definitely gives them that timing advantage. And now the early stun, the level advantage, going to punish Boy Wonder. The Return of the Middlesticks bot lane feeling the punishment here.
Yeah, there's just not a lot they can do. Down in XP, down a little bit in CS as well, as this is going to crash. So Popeye actually shouldn't be too far behind. However, you highlighted that earlier. The level advantage there ended up costing Boy Wonder quite a bit.
Kooky Krook, though, with an early lane from the top lane, going to go on to Heal It Up, but that Claw gets them out to safety incredibly easily. Heal It Up is going to stay safe. Dragowski is going to go for the invade, but Lion Eyes is here as well. Everyone's all over the map in this early game. The Cosa Gamers will secure their camp. They will save their mid laner, and they don't lose too much for it.
Yeah, they don't lose anything for it. They didn't even burn. He did not even have to burn a summoner spell. Kooky Krook alongside Lion Eyes trying to help out. Dad Stealer, a really good roam up here from the Taric, ensuring that their mid laner able to get these minions to push out. Healed Up has to be careful, but is playing safe. Kooky Krook wants to continue to be a menace on Valkyrie.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, the counter pick for the Poppy, right? Is it makes it really tough to exist as Rengar in your jungle. You're never going to be able to jump on that Poppy. Steadfast Presence will ensure that that is stopped. But Kooky Krook spending a lot of time out of the top lane, now getting chased down, didn't get to interrupt that dash. And Lion Eyes now going to punish with the brittle flash over the wall from Kooky Krook. The snare does land. Lion Eyes can chase over. Going to get slammed into the wall, though, to dissuade any further engage. And now it's getting locked down by Dragowski as the rest of the team has to come over to try to respond. Joker, meanwhile, left alone in the bot lane, doing his best to dissuade the dive, and looks like he will be able to do so. Meanwhile, everybody else gets to escape. Yeah,
it's a whole lot of nothing. No having to lose their lives for anything. Couple summoner spells burned. A lot of scary health bars, but as a whole, everybody continuing to stay alive. CS advantage obviously going over to Puppy because of Dad Stealer on the roam, but at the end of the day, when you're able to keep your Rengar and your mid laner healthy and happy, I think it is a worthy trade. Helios will scale up pretty well as is, and only a 10 CS advantage actually being dropped now as the waves continue to ebb and flow is not that bad of a sacrifice. So huge credit to Dad Stealer. I feel like they're playing this support role pretty well right now.
definitely making their presence known around the map. Kooky Krook as well, constantly leaving the top lane, constantly getting involved, but is dragging Lion Eyes around with them, so is going to end up with the CS advantage, not really giving up much to be able to make these plays around the map. And that's kept Heal It Up at least at a low HP total. Doesn't seem to have stopped them from being able to get that advantage in the mid lane, though. About a 10 CS lead already.
Yeah, Heal It Up has just done so well on this Lissandra. We had critiqued it. We said it had been picked for the lane matchup, not for the scaling, and we critiqued the lack of damage. But at least right now, proving us wrong, doing a fantastic job on the Icy Queen herself. But across the map, not a lot else going on. Max 108 able to grab themselves six, pardon me. Just a little bit behind Heal It Up, but finally back even at 6. Does show that they are a little bit behind in the not only the CS but the XP difference as well.
Definitely. A lot of people have been pulled out of their lanes in this early game, and it's going to end up having impact on the XP totals. Well, Cosa Gamer Squad with the slight advantage. They've got the CS lead in mid, they've got the CS lead in the jungle, and they've got that first blood gold still keeping them ahead. Now, just gonna hope to try to get Joker scaling up into this later game so that they will be able to work through these tanks. That is what a lot of this is gonna come down to, unless a massive lead is built out for Varker. You can see he is hovering in this bottom lane. He wants to be able to get himself involved, and they are going to be able to push this wave. Another really well-drilled play in this bottom lane. Looks like this one won't produce any results, though. Dragowski is there for the counter gank.
Yeah, but they were able to get shoved. They have to be careful. Max 108 is there, and they don't know that Dragonowski. Now they do with those auto attacks, but here comes the Nico.
Oh, jumping on out, going to get the snare onto 3, but a little bit too far up. Going to immediately have to flash away, getting locked down anyway. Frozen Tomb. There's the Ring of Frost. There's the kill for Heal It Up. And now Dragowski going to be the next target. Going to have to back away. The rest of the squad all very low and do not want to risk exciting that jinx, but a good win for the Cosa Gamers.
Yeah, Cosa Gamers. That Nico engage was great, but the disengage not nearly good enough. No ultimates on Puppey or Boy Wonder, and that's the problem, right? You only have that Nico ultimate. Lion Eyes, hold on.
Kooky Krook with the huge health advantage here, going to charge, going in for the dive, backing away though, maybe bit off more than he can chew. Here comes Call the Forge God, Lion Eyes with a solo kill.
All coming up Cosa Gamers right now. At first, they don't have the ultimates in the bot side, and they lose their Nico on the top side. Kooky Krook not really knowing the differences between the champions right there, just a little bit overzealous, and Lion Eyes makes him pay for that. The W does count as a knockup, so Kooky Krook, I feel like, was just one auto away, but a perfect W brittle, and that knockup ensured that Kooky Krook wasn't able to get that last bit of damage off, and you are not dodging the bull at that distance. Ends up losing their lives, and this gold difference that we talked about, Gordo, 1.2, 1.3K right now. Slowly building up. It is not stagnating. Cosa Gaming continue to build their lead.
Doing a great job taking advantage of this Rengar jungle, getting him involved, getting him ahead, and now going to try to convert that into the dragon here. It's already getting started up by Joker and Dad Stealer. They're calling down Varker to be able to back it up as well. And Dragowski, stuck on the top side of the map, is just going to have to give this one up.
Yeah, Dragowski so far behind, and without the Maokai ultimate, that is such an important in their arsenal for these fights, that it's pretty bad when you don't have it. It feels like kind of, thank you, Captain Obvious, but when you don't have the Maokai ultimate, it's not that effective up being, especially when Heal It Up, Joker, Dad Stealer getting close to level 6 as well. There's just not a lot that you can do in those fights, and so opting instead to give up that dragon, instead trying to farm back up to get that Maokai ultimate, and once they do, you'd imagine they're going to try to get across the map a little bit more.
And something we didn't talk about too much about this Cosa Gamer team comp is the amount of lockdown that they really bring to these, bot side fights. The lockdown from the Lissandra alone was huge onto Max in that last play. They've got the snare from the Rengar, they've got the stun from the Taric, Gravitum from Aphelios can get you a little snare in there as well. And it's just leaving some of these players just completely unable to get out of these dangerous situations. That's what really bit Max in that last fight. Want to see how they're going to be able to continue to chain those CCs together, because it looked really clean.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly. Not only is Max not able to get out, Puppey's not able to get in. I'm sure that, the Jinx wants to be able to free hit, wants to get onto the carries, get excited. But when you're free hitting onto, somebody with a little bit more health, somebody that isn't going to fall and get you excited, there's just not a lot that you can do in those fights. And so, perfectly, Puppey wanted to go for the Ghost. I think probably the correct summoner rune right there, but because of that, might not be able to do the damage onto the Aphelios and the Lissandra like they might want to.
It's definitely the risk here. Lion Eyes going in for a little charge, going to get knocked back by the Steadfast Presence.
It looks funny.
It does. It's funny every time. I love to see Poppy in these kinds of games. Is we've got a 3/4 man bot here. Heal it up, going to return to the mid lane. Doesn't think that they're seeing much of anything, but Varker happy to hang around and look for a play on the Rengar. Dad Stealer taking a bit of damage, trying to bait. Doesn't look like Boy and Puppey are biting though.
Yeah, both of these top laners have their teleport up, and with the range, or excuse me, with the ultimate teleport being dropped down to 10 minutes, this could be a 4v4 if anything were to happen. Both of them do have lockup though, and we might have this right here.
Yeah, the flash attempted stun misses for Dad Stealer. Channeling the Cosmic Intervention will be able to keep them safe for a little while. Trying to melt down Dragowski is Varker, but not going to be able to work through the tanky Maokai. Max going to pick up a double kill, turn it into a triple, and now Puppey chasing down on a Joker, looking to get his first kill of the game. Already excited, but now it's all a quadra kill for Max 108.
Max 108 goes 4 strong right there, and I want to call attention to the top lane. I kept saying it could be a 4v4, it could be a 5v4, depending on the teleports. Lion Eyes calls Kooky Krook's buff right there. He says, I'm going to teleport, and I'm going to have you teleport as well. But Kooky Krook said, no, you are not. Pushes him out of the teleport, knows that the team was able to do just enough with what they had. It's going to be 4 kills. It's going to be first turn, including all of the plates. That gold lead that Cosa Gamers had gotten for themselves is completely gone. We can watch this one back. The Taric ultimate just a little bit early and only on 2 members. It barely stops any damage. And then how about this Nico ultimate? 3 players knocked up. Actually, one of them was a clone, but 2 players knocked up. Able to just quickly finish those off. No, it was 3 players. I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I know. I was thinking clone too. It just looked, their positioning looked just like a Wukong W, but there's no Wukong in this game, man. That's every single one of those was a fat balloon of 300 gold going right into Max 108's pocket, and now they are so ahead, the most ahead in the game for sure.
Yeah, and you know, we had critiqued Max 108's fight earlier. They had not the disengage, but with the knowledge that Dragonowski was behind, you know, Dragonowski, that ultimate from the Maokai was huge in that fight for setting up this Nico. It ensured that there didn't need to be a disengage. All it needed to do was the damage and the engage, and Nico is more than happy enough to do that. And yeah, you highlighted the goal difference. It is just massive at this point. They're able to get the tower as well. Kooky Krook alone, but should not end up mattering. Return of the mid lane, or excuse me, return of the Middlesticks should be return of the mid lane. Max 108 has redeemed themselves.
Absolutely true here. Production's calling out to me. Maokai cued Rengar back into the Nico ultimate in that last fight. That's huge there, as here comes the Nature's Advance. That is going to stun up 2 members. Dragowski's here for the backup, and that's a double kill over to the side of return of the Middlesticks. They are online, and they are looking to accelerate from this point on. They get the first kill over to Puppey, and they give one to Kooky Krook as well.
Yeah, at this point, it is just looking dominant from them. Those 2 kills came easy. A beautiful wraparound right there. Is this what Uncapped League looks like normally? They don't do this in the APO. This is incredible. But it might be it's just return of the Middlesticks, honestly, because they are outplaying their ACL counterpart right now, making it look easy.
Let's now heal it up. Jumping back over the wall, returning to farm away on the bot lane, and to fill some solo lane duties here. That has been quite a bit of gold given over to Max, and they are utilizing it to the best of their ability, chasing down Lion Eyes, looking to not repeat the mistakes of Kooky Krook by overstepping for the dive, but they will chunk Lion Eyes out low enough that he's got no business being in this top lane.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, able to get the teleport back as well, and Lion Eyes, low health, has to back and then get the teleport in, so it should be a 5v4 for the time being right now. It does not look like Cosa Gamers can walk up into this.
Yeah, Varker going to look for the steal close enough, but going to get snared up and going to get backed away. Kooky Krook going to claim that dragon. Now going to be 1-1 in that department. And CGS, they've just got no play to get started. They've got to back away, even with all their members in the area.
Yeah, and this is one of the bigger issues that with this team comp. You talked about the go button that return of the Middlesticks has, right? They've got the Nico, they've got themselves that the Maokai alongside the Poppy. Meanwhile, if you're Lissandra, you're just going to get blown up at this point in the game. Falling behind is just a disaster for this team comp, and right now you're starting to see it. Cosa Gamer Squad aren't really able to get into the pits at this point in time. Need to scale up, need to find some kills on their carries. Right now it's just not really working out for them.
Yeah, Max. Okay, wait.
Hold on.
Are we?
Was that the
What is
clone?
going on here? Somehow nobody can interrupt the Nico recall. Dad Stealer was right on top of him. 1Q comes through for heal it up. Must have been right within the window where you can't interrupt the recall. And Max gets away with murder.
Well, Gordo, I'm curious now. Can you recall? Because I'm pretty sure that they were disguised as a ward. If you don't kill the ability, does it count? That's my question for you.
That's a color commentator question, Bonfire. I can't help you there. I'm not sure. As there's going to be the ultimate coming through from the Maokai. Now not going to be able to recast Call of the Forge God, and Joker going to lose his life for it. Varker is arriving to the play a little bit late, and again, going for Dragowski, who tanks it all up, doesn't care, and steps away. Puppe gets excited, chases him back for a double kill, and Return of the Middlesticks maintain their advantage. Heal it up, flashes in, going in for the play, and Dragowski again tanks it all up, gets healed up by Boy Wonder, and refuses to drop.
Yeah, there's just not a lot that you can do. If you're healing up right now, you're hoping that you can heal the rest of your team up, because they are all dying before you can even get the engage off. As a Lissandra, if you're having to flash W and hope for the best there, that is worst case scenario. Maybe you get a shutdown on Dragonowski and a little extra 150 gold, but at the end of the day, they aren't able to get that. They just give up more gold over to the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Now the Jinx is fed. You've got the Nico fed as well. Dragonowski quietly having an incredible game. 10 of 10 kill participation. Just been an incredible game for the jungle and the AD carry in that sense. They've made everything spin for their team, and Cosa gamers really finding themselves in a pretty big hole here.
Yeah, for sure. The Rift Herald coming out a little late, going to just meet the CGS team and gonna get taken out just the same, but still, you get the upfront gold for the Rift Herald these days, so not as big a deal as it might have been in seasons past. And there's been so many wins for Middlesticks around the map the last few minutes that they don't really mind that they didn't find the perfect opportunity to drop Shelly.
Yeah, they're so rich. It's like when you tell a rich person that they dropped a $100 bill. They might as well just leave it on the ground. I don't think they're too concerned about that. I think they'd actually rather save their energy reaching down to get the $100 bill than go pick it back up. And so I think that's kind of what Return of the Middlesticks is doing right now. Oh, we have a Rift Herald? Well, we'll just drop it mid lane. Maybe it'll do something. Who cares? We're up 5,000 gold.
Heal it up, calling up Varker. They're going to look for a play onto Max. They don't recast, though. Here comes Dragowski. Might be a full-on team fight up here, as they're going to look to lock down onto Heal it up first. Goes into the stasis using that frozen tomb, but is going to get taken down as soon as they come out. Dragowski goes on a killing spree, and Dad Stealer has to flash away to avoid going down to the Jinx Rockets. Return to the Middlesticks. They have the numbers advantage, they have the gold advantage, and they slam the top lane fight.
Yeah, I'm realizing now I've been calling them Dragonowski this entire time, but that's just because they're playing like one.
Oh, and Joker going to be up fighting with Puppe. Does go down, but gets good damage off the Inferno Ball. It just does not matter, though. Dad Stealer gonna get picked off by the zap on the side. Varker's got no angle to get into this fight. Max did drop and did give some gold back over to Joker, but that is small pickings compared to what Middlesticks is getting for themselves.
Yeah, this is looking like Rivers Rengar right now, and MSI, if you know, you know, just really struggling in this matchup. If you fall behind on Rengar, you are much more of a Yumi than a big scary tiger. You are not the cat you want to be, my friend. You're a tabby. You are not the king of the jungle. And 1 and 2-1, just not nearly doing enough damage, not able to blow up the carries. Puppe is actually looking more like a wolf right now as the animal puns continue.
Oh, that was the sapling. It's the little llama saplings for the DRX skins. I was so confused as to what the little dancing alpaca was. It's the Maokai sapling. That's gonna confuse me at some point in the future. Prepare, ladies and gentlemen, for when I get confused by a Maokai sapling.
More animals, by the way. We've got cats, dogs, llamas. Oh my! We've got a zoo here on Summoner's Rift this game.
Yeah.
And whatever Nico is.
They are technically alpacas. I'm sure somebody would get upset at us mixing those two up, but they're super similar animals. Let's be real. As Maokai's going in for the engage, Heal it up, going to be frontlining here. Varker taking a bunch of damage, but absorbs it with the Cosmic Radiance, but a 4-man knock for Max is going to completely turn this fight around and return to the Middlesticks. They've got a triple kill for Puppey. If he can get this pentakill, that's a whole bunch of money for charity. They're going to try to chase him down on the CGS here. Lion Eyes getting just enough distance away, and they will not be able to claim it, but it's going to be a big win for Middlesticks nonetheless.
So you've heard it here first, folks. Lion Eyes hates charity. Lion Eyes is anti-charity. He should have given that one. Now, obviously, for competitive integrity, do what you can not to get killed. But Puppey, that is now probably the second time, and Max 108 had one as well. This feels like there's a penta destined to happen as we get a replay right here. Caddy quick on the trigger today. Looked like a good engage at start, but the damage, it's just not nearly there, right? It starts great. You've got the root onto the Maokai. This is a fantastic ultimate from the Taric, as that is a flying Ornn, but it looks good. The Taric ultimate's blocking quite a lot of damage, but how about the timing? How about the CC? Max 108 gets maxed 4 of them. And then it is just the damage coming across. Heal it up, dies as well. And then Lion Eyes and Valkyr don't care about charity and have to run themselves away before $50 falls in the pockets of those who might need it.
Absolutely, and that's gonna be, yeah, I love to see the team play in that team fight too. Gonna be underrated here, but the knock away on the Ornn also knocks away half of the Cosmic Radiance, so it forces the other 4 to group up on a Dad Stealer, which enables the huge ultimate from Max. Love that out of Middlesticks.
The butterfly effect, you know, it's one small ultimate changes the entire course of the fight. I think even if Max 108 got 0 of them, I still think they clean up just with the gold lead, but it looked so much cooler when Max 108 did it, so I'm glad that he did. It looked pretty awesome.
Nature's Wrath going to be coming in here before too long. Great damage out of the rocket, and Heal It Up is down before the fight even starts. Dad Stealer left out to dry. A double kill, and once again, it's on the table. Kooky Krook going to deny it, but what about the ace? The lockdown coming through on a Lion Eyes who flashes away, but they can tank up the turret far longer than before. They decide it's not worth it. They've got bigger fish to fry. They've got the Baron back in the pit to claim for themselves.
Yeah, these fights are just not even close. After that quadra kill from Max 108, just really feels like Return of the Middlesticks have remembered who they are and why they deserve to be in the ACL and why they deserve to be ranked 18th by the analysts for the NACLQ. Playing so incredibly strong. Keep an eye on them, folks. If this is the first time you've seen Return of the Middlesticks, this is not a team to forget right now, as they just assert dominance on Summoner's Rift. It is an
for them here. There's the sapling. There's our good friend. Love this skin, actually. The Maokai one is easily one of the best. You would, if you just looked at the skins, you would be shocked to learn that Juhan played like 2 games.
Yeah, but the Kindred, okay, I like the Kindred one. I think my hot take is that I think my favorite is the Aatrox one.
No, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good take.
Because I saw on Twitter, walks away like an Ash arrow in his backing animation, which I thought was super cool, or like a Varus arrow or something of that sort. He deflects
like a Varus arrow and then blocks a Victor laser, because those were the champions T1 were playing in Kingan's big pop off game.
Say what you want about Riot, man. They have some cool Easter eggs. They do right sometimes. Now if they could just nerf Zeri.
That would be the best Easter egg. Just out of respect to the audience, we're getting Zeri removed from the meta for a little bit longer. Is Puppey gonna get excited off of that outer turret? Here comes the Call the Forge God from Lion Eyes, looking for the knockup, looking for an angle. Puppey has found Varker on the sideline though, and is just gonna push that Rengar out as a marksman, picks up the kill basically single-handedly, and now it's a 5 versus 4 in the CGS base. They're getting pushed back. They have to call down Cosmic Radiance. Joker gonna go invulnerable, but everyone is backing away even while they're immortal. Return to the Middlesticks. They've now got that crucial turret down, and they can step forward. Here comes a potential engage. Heal It Up, gonna throw down the Frozen Tomb on top of himself, but it's just going to get blown up as soon as he comes out. Kooky Krook tanking up these turrets for days. Puppey flashes in, goes legendary, looking to hunt down Dad Stealer and Lion Eyes. They're just a little bit too tanky for the time being, but the Nexus turrets are dropping, and Dragowski and Kooky Krook can continue to tank for as long as they need to. Puppey picks up another one. Varker has respawned from getting picked off at the start of this fight, but it might just be too little. It might just be too late. Max gets another one, and this is going to be the Nexus Fallen for game number 1. Bonfire, Return of the Middlesticks with a convincing 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Return of the Middlesticks, remembering who they are, why they're here, and what they have to do to poor Cosa Gaming squad. Holy moly, decimation after that early lead that Cosa Gaming had gotten themselves. Return of the Middlesticks says, we are not mid. even though it's in our name. We are very good at this game as we can start to look at this final fight before we go to our lovely faces. Puppey had already killed the Rengar in the background. He's just a side character at this point, and they run away. I understand why they're returning the Middlesticks now. Even though they do not have Fiddlesticks in this game, they still just have fear. They give their opponents fear. It's exactly what happened. A really great engage from the Lissandra, but I mean, what do you do? Bye-bye, Aphelios. That is fair damage, and then at this point, it is just a Benny Hill music montage as everybody tries to get out, do damage, dodge the turrets. It's a Looney Tunes comic, but at the end of the day, what had to happen did happen, and that's the big blue or red Nexus exploded right on time.
And from that one big pop blossom in the bottom lane from Max, the game was over right there, right? Yeah. You didn't know it at the time. We didn't know it at the time. But starting off from a 3-0 lead to CGS, then Max gets that big ulti in the bottom lane, and they give up 1 kill more for the entire rest of the game. They just slam every single fight from the time that they are able to get that play off in the bottom lane, from that time that they're able to get Puppey rolling, and a fantastic play out from there in this front-to-back team fight comp from the side of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, that's looking like the Grand Canyon right there. You've got the little river right in the middle of it, a little bit of a drop, and then just the deepest hill you'll ever find. I'm curious if that big swing was the Nico Quadra. You'd have to imagine. At the end of the day, it wasn't the 100,000 damage that we expected out of this Jinx. 35,000 when no one else even touches above 15 other than the Nico. It's pretty good. It's pretty good damage.
It's a sizable chunk there for sure here. Nobody else really has time to get going. Nobody else really gets the opportunity to play too much League of Legends this game.
Yeah.
Of how quickly they are able to just snap the trap closed and shut down this first game.
This one was a quick one. I wish we had the time on this graph. I'm curious if it was. It was. Oh no, we do. It was like 25 minutes. I was like, was it pre-25? Just about. So yeah, they made quick work of their opponent. It seems like they want to get maybe another scrim in before the NACLQ, but that's why this is a best of 3, right? This is not a nobody team. Cosa Gamers are still a top 30 NACLQ contender, and they can still find a way back in this series, but they're going to have to hit the drawing board, and they're going to have to figure out what went wrong and how quickly they have to ban Nico next game, because I think that's probably what's going to be.
Yeah, the answer is pretty quickly, but they did show some good stuff in that early game. I'm excited to see some more good stuff in game number 2. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. We're going to throw it to a quick break here, but we'll be back before too long with game 2 of Return of the Middlesticks taking on the Cosa Gamer squad. Welcome back, everybody, to the Aegis Champions League. We're fresh off a quick game one by return of the Middlesticks. We are back in the draft for game number 2. The Cosa Gamer squad going to select the blue side here to try to win themselves one back and take this to a game number 3.
I hope they do. I don't obviously have fan favorites. We were chatting about it just off stream. Both of us very excited to see these teams battle it out. These are some fun teams. And so, although I don't take sides, and once it goes to a game 3, I am once again impartial, I want to see this go the distance. I am wearing my, speaking of going the distance, I'm wearing a cross-country shirt on. So this hopefully will go like my it will go the distance.
That's what I want to see for sure as we are waiting to get this one started off. I mean, surely we see a Nico ban come through here. And that's going to be right up towards the top of the list. And I know I was praising the off-meta junglers that CGS brings to the table. I mean, they won a game with Rengar last week. They played the Nocturne as well. I hate to suggest people go against, their identity, but I would like to see maybe a little bit more of a meta jungler out of the side of CGS. I think that would have given them a little bit more options to come back in the game. And, as you said, when the Rengar snowball gets stopped, it's really hard to get it going again. It kind of gets derailed. There's no more snow to pick up. It's just not a good sign. So we'll see how they're going to adapt coming into this game number 2. We are into the draft, and immediately it's going to be a Poppy ban, so maybe try to enable that Rengar a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the Poppy really hurt them. So a lot of their champions like to...
Uh-oh. We lost Bonfire? All right, well, we've lost Bonfire. He'll be back in a moment here. Stuck on that home Wi-Fi for the time being, as Rakan going to be banned away for the side of return of the Middlesticks. So still keeping that one on the table. Want to make sure that powerful engage tool not going to be available for the side of CGS here. I believe that was banned away by them in game number 1 as well. Yes, it was. It's now going to be the Maokai ban for the side of the Cosa Gamer squad. So just continuing to pick away at this team composition that Return of the Middlesticks drafted in game number 1. They've thrown their picks and bans from game number 1 out the window. They banned away the Jax and the Olaf, try to pinch those away from Kooky Krook. Ended up with him just on his 3rd most played champion, the Poppy. Doesn't seem to have been the recipe for success there. So let's see what they're going to be able to change around getting into the picks and bans. And there's a 3rd champion off the table from Middlesticks' game 1 comp in the form of the Melio. So gonna be back to the drawing board for Return of the Middlesticks. Gonna see a very different composition than what they showed to us in game number 1. Now with Middlesticks, 1 more ban to go. We'll see if they're gonna keep those with the Cassante. That was what their 3rd ban was in game number 1. They're switching over to the Yuumi though. They don't want to risk that Zeri Yuumi coming through. Zeri is on the table. And Bonfire is in the call, it looks like. Bonfire, have we got you?
Yes, I did. I warned you earlier. I said my Wi-Fi is really bad. So for everyone in the chat, this was a known possibility. But I am back. It's good to miss.
Good. You missed. CGS is just banning Middlesticks' game 1 comp, except for the Nico, as they're going to pick that one up for themselves. And Middlesticks have kept most of the same bans. They do pivot away from the Cassante and ban the Yuumi instead. Now they're going to lock in this Ahri to face off against the Nico.
You'd have to imagine the Zeri gets picked up at some point as they continue to troll us with these jungles. Oh, the namesake makes his way onto the...
It has to be played mid for it to be the namesake, though. You can't... Dragowski can't play it. It has to be for Max, and the Ahri is already locked in.
If they did play it, it would be the return of the Middlesticks. Instead, it's going to be the Vi, which stands for Vi... So return of the Middlesticks, grab themselves the Vi. Ahri, a very good combo. So obviously going to be picked up. And both of these teams have something that they can do that is very funny, which is ignore the Zeri, but I'd imagine one of them picks him up.
Yeah, there is no Yuumi to pair it with, but I'm going to be honest, you can go Zeri Lulu still, man. They haven't done that much to the Lulu. You can go... I mean, you can't go Zeri Melio. Melio's banned away, but there's other champions you can pick with the Zeri if that needs be. If Zeri goes all the way through for both teams, I don't even know what to say. I mean, this champion is... It was you who was telling me, right? Zeri's 100% pick ban in the ACL, right? At least was in week 1. So if Zeri slips through these picks and bans, it would be the first time in the entire ACL split.
Yeah, in its young split with no changes as the most meta champion in the game. So I'd like to imagine that both of these teams were like, all right, gentleman's agreement, no Zeri. But at the same time, I think that would be very bad from Cosa because they need every advantage that they can get. They're kind of on the brink right here. As the Olaf being hovered, Cassante was picked. We're kind of all over the place. It's every lane but bot first, which is not normally what you'll see. And yeah, it's every lane but bot first. So we're seeing everything but the bot. And now we're going to get, you'd imagine the Zeri ban, probably a Jinx ban, maybe an Aphelios as well.
Surely, yeah, it's got to be CGS taking that one off the board. Otherwise, Middlesticks should lock this in, as there are 4. Kooky Krook on the Olaf. That's a Kooky Krook special right there. He's a big Olaf player. It's his most played in solo queue. It's good into the Cassante. It's a great showing for him here. He had a great early game on the Poppy before, maybe overexerted himself a little bit, ended up going down in a solo kill to the Ornn, but on the Olaf, he's going to be happy to keep that aggression up and keep fighting up against the Cassante.
Gordo, don't look now, but we still don't have a Zeri ban. So
every other AD ban.
We've seen Xayah and Jinx. Jinx, I understand. Xayah, I don't. I don't understand the Xayah. But they did ban it, so they don't want to see it.
Perhaps just taking away aggressive options to set up for their inevitable Zeri pick. Like that would be my theory here. I mean, Zeri's on the table, Aphelios is on the table. They're gonna ban Zeri. So are perhaps setting up for an Aphelios, but there's the Aphelios ban, and now we're getting into the weird ADs, Bonfire. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get some goofy stuff this game. Ezreal is good. He's still on the table. Some people play Jhin. Those people don't win that many games. Let's see what happens.
Samira is very good, but isn't good into the team comp. Ezreal is probably the safest. CGS are really in the weeds right now. They can't see above him right now. They're in some weird AD carries positioning.
Yeah. I'm looking at what Joker plays. Kog'Maw still on the table, but not with any of its classic pairings. I mean, you go Lulu Kog'Maw. I guess that's a classic.
Lulu also, I didn't mention Lulu. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you there. Lulu also has a very high, with a 60% presence, including an 11 picks, 5 and 6 on the champion. So not a huge win rate, but Lulu's not bad. You could go Kog'Maw Lulu. They don't know. I mean, they're just kind of like, what do we do here? Yeah,
I mean, looking at what Joker plays, I mean, all right, well, we've locked in nobody. That's not an option.
Who needs an AD carry when you can just lock in nobody?
Yeah, all right. I'm going to wait for Prod to tell me what this is. Nyla. Nyla, according to the chat here. And there is the Taric. I mean, this is who you want to pair up with Taric. Like, let's be real here. And against the Ezreal, I mean, you get to block projectiles, man. It's been a ruse. It's all been a setup to pinch Middlesticks into this Ezreal pick and counter it with the Nyla Taric.
Yeah, Nyla's not terrible. Any of the other members either.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
I'm kind of hyped, dude. I haven't gotten to see. I don't know if I've ever cast a Nyla game. At least not in the ACL. Maybe in some other lower tier league once upon a time.
I'm a little concerned I'm not going to know the Nyla abilities names, as it's going to be the karma to pair up with the Ezreal. That's a really strong bot lane in terms of poke. Tara can heal up some of it, but not all of it. And Nyla can block some of it, but not all of it.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think of Nyla abilities. Ulti is Apotheosis. That's what I know. Yeah, that's the big one. That's like the Diana Moonfall-esque. Immune all the damage, pull everyone in ability. So that's going to be the big one to know.
I thought it was just immune to auto attacks. I
think it's damage reduction across the board. No, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
We might have to do our research during the break that we have. I definitely do. Research aside, as a whole, these drafts much different than anything you would ever expect in most of the other upper leagues. But I'm glad about that because you're right. We get to see a Nyla, we get to see a Kindred, which is always fun. There's a lot of fun combinations that can happen. This one should be a little bit more fun than the other one. There should be some fireworks here, Gordo.
Yeah, for sure here. So gonna be a fun one to check out, gonna be a fun one to see who is going to end up coming out ahead. And I mean, it's gonna be all about the bottom lane, right? If you're returning the Middlesticks, you've got to be sending Dragowski down towards that bottom lane on this vibe to try to disrupt all the shenanigans that the Samira Taric are going to be up to. The Nyla passive is going to become a huge problem. You're not going to be able to harass them out of lane that easily, even with Ezreal Karma, I've got to believe, as long as they don't tank a bunch of skill shots for fun. And they're just going to passively develop a level lead just by hanging out down there and by virtue of Nyla being the kind of champion that she is. CGS, I feel like with this Kindred jungle, they're at a little bit of a disadvantage as far as being able to play make in this bottom lane. So again, I really feel like it's on Dragowski to come and try to turn this into Middlesticks' favor.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna agree with that. I think obviously when you have the Vi Ahri, you've got a fantastic place for the roam ability of both of those champions. You've got a good wombo in the mid lane with Ahri Vi, and then pair that with the Olaf, you've got a fairly strong team fight as well. Ezreal Karma kind of just has to hit from behind, but not a bad combo. But I do think you're right though. Nyla and Taric should be a very, very strong bot lane. I think giving Nyla invulnerability sounds like a nightmare for anybody to have to deal with on this side of Return of the Middlesticks.
Okay, the Caddy's coming in with the bailout here. So Jubilant Veil does reduce all magic damage by 25% and dodges basic attacks. So. Okay. It's a little bit of both. We're both right, really. Yeah, I knew it. I wasn't sure if it was dodge or just reduced damage, but I was pretty sure you get to protect yourself from all kinds of damage. And I'm basically right. I guess physical damage abilities still hurt you.
I was happy enough to say we were both right, and then you have to swoop in and say that you were basically right, Gordo.
I'm more concerned about me being right, Bonfire. If you're right in the background, that's completely fine with me, but it does not make a big difference.
Yeah, the magic damage I was unaware of, but it is interesting. It will stop a lot of karma damage. Definitely good. With the Ezreal, it'll stop. Does it stop now? The question is.
What is the question? All right, well, we'll get Bonfire back in here before too long, as we've got a little bit of time before we're going to be loading in here. You know what? We've already gotten through the draft. Let's throw it to a quick break. Let's let Bonfire figure out his internet issues, and then we will be back onto the Rift for game 2. Our Cosa Gamer Squad are going to take on Return of the Middlesticks. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Move closer, but with a deeper sweat. Oh, beneath them we look on. When they part comes the hatred they bring. Lost in the dark, we've come so far. Another step to rid the pain. Go and be counted till your last day. 'Cause only nightmares break their face. So stand upon these fallen lands and follow in our Father's plans. Yeah, until the end we will remain, and we'll hold on until our last breath. So what is to be left for us? My people look on and say, don't fear what you don't know, 'cause we're far from certain fate. And we'll make our final stand. Lost in the dark, we've come so far. Another step to rid the pain. Go and be counted till your last day. 'Cause only nightmares break their flames. So stand upon these fallen lands to break their spine and reclaim what once was mine. Those cravens backstabbed me, deceived me. Never shall I tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin. Oh, 7,000.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's broadcast of the Aegis Champions League. We got a little bit of a screen freeze to start things off, but return of the Middlesticks taking a page out of the CGS handbook. They are grouping as 5, and they are sprinting into the bot lane to start things off.
Gordo, that's the stream. That's not me, correct? I want to make sure. That's every time something pauses a little bit, I get very scared. But I believe
I understand that. I do believe that it is only the League of Legends stream going on.
Oh boy, here we go.
And maybe a little 5-on-5. Boy Wonder leading the charge. There's going to be the undertow. He can't pick it back up because there's too many people in the way. Dragowski taking a big boatload of damage. Dad Stealer doing the same. The Ignite is ticking down, but Dragowski will stay alive. Boy Wonder throwing in Mantra Qs on the other side. Max has to flash away as well. And now Puppey going to be the next target. Joker leading the charge. Barker dashing forward as well. One bit of CC would spell the end, but nobody's got it. Lionize is ghosting, looking to hit him with the Intofu strikes, but Puppey will be able to get away. So many summoner spells blown, but no one goes down.
Everybody lives, Gordo. It is the Amish invade. Nobody dies, everyone shakes hands, and everyone goes back to their hard labor. I'm actually going to copyright that. That is the Amish invade.
I'll take it as wow. I mean, every summoner spell pretty much. Boy Wonder has Flash and Dragowski has Smite. Every other summoner is down for Middlesticks. Lionize has TP, Heal It Up has Flash, Dad Stealer has Flash. So there's a few more on the side of CGS, but Boy Wonder got to farm a whole bunch of gold on their support item. So who's really winning?
Well, Joker got a lot of that CS. This is going to crash. I'm curious how much of this Puppey gets. If we can keep the... Oh, no, we can't keep the camera there. If we can keep the camera there, he gets... What does he get? 2? He's not going to get all of them. And so already, Joker... Or excuse me, not Joker. Puppey is going to be behind. Joker should get quite a lot of that. As Puppey, as an early game Ezreal, it is not easy to get those minions under tower. And so, unfortunately, has to take a little bit of a CS difference. But as a whole, it's not nearly enough. And not as bad as a First Blood would have done. I am so surprised everyone survived there. No deaths, no enemies. Yeah. Everyone's friends.
I do think Puppey and Boy Wonder get the freeze off this though, so we'll see. Joker and Dad Stealer definitely don't want to have to deal with that. They definitely would like, an opportunity to get some more combat going with this Ezreal and this Karma, but they do get the first recall. They are not really going to be able to get much off of it other than their health back.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's obviously a good adaptation. They have to try to find a way to do something to get themselves some gold back. But as a whole, it really shouldn't change that much across the bot lane. Both of these bot lanes feel pretty happy about what's been happening to them, and this huge wave is going to crash into Joker. And I think that was at an 8 CS advantage that Puppey currently has should get evened out to probably about even again. So both bot lanes doing what they can to ensure that they have just the most minor of leads, and at the end, it's going to end up pretty even, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Going to be looking to do as much blocking as they can here to try to prevent Ezreal from zoning them off and getting any of the minions themselves. Going to be keeping a close eye on these burst potentials coming through from Nyla and Tarek as a duo, looking to play super aggressively, going to naturally develop a level lead, going to be looking to get kills in this 2-on-2. Barker, though,
not seen.
Clever path up into the top side, will get spotted by that ward from Kooky Krook. I think Kooky knows that he's there.
I also think so. You're right about that ward. I also think that Barker knows that, so not going to be sticking around too long, wasting too much time. Does have to back. Battle of Wits right there, the chess man's top lane matchup. But at the end of the day, sometimes chess is just one pawn to another, and that's exactly what happened. Heal It Up, by the way, as I hate to put them on blast, missed 2 cannon minions so far. So it feels pretty bad. Definitely does. You're gonna hate to have that. You're gonna hate to have that happen. You're gonna hate to have it called out on stream even more. I know. So I'm just observant. I don't know. I just saw it, man. I don't know. I feel bad. Now I feel bad. You make me feel bad, Gordo.
That's all right. Heal It Up. He's gonna learn to deal with it. He'll be fine. He is gonna deny quite a bit of CS to Max there, though. Lost all 3 casters, so he's gonna even things up at least as best as they can. Now, going to be on that super powerful Nico as well, so gonna have plenty of opportunities to earn some respect back.
Ooh, hold on.
Now a potential gank coming through here. The charm lands from Max. Super well played. An attempted flash away, but the electrocute proc will claim it for Max.
Yeah, beautiful from Max right there. Low mana, that was kind of the only opportunity they had before they had to back, and did it perfectly. That is a max range WQ from Puppey. Everything just kind of coming up ROTM right now, doing all the small things right, giving themselves a little over 1,000 gold lead.
True care, truth brings. Bonfire is turn to the Middlesticks going to be pushing in and getting a big wave crashed up into Joker and Dad Stealer. I think this one should take them up to at least level 5.
Okay, so last time we looked at the CS, it was about even, pretty big wave crashing. It is now suddenly a 15 CS advantage. I think that's going to shrink with that wave, but that was good for Puppey, getting themselves a lead. Remember when they were behind in CS, and I said that Joker had done a good job of, getting those minions away? That is no longer the case. That Ezreal Karma just does so good at poking out the low-range Joker, low-range Nyla.
Definitely. So now, been a pretty calm early game, I'm going to be honest. I was really expecting Cookie Krook to try to get really aggressive on this Olaf early on. I was expecting Joker and Dad Stealer to try to get super aggressive in this bottom lane early on, but everybody used all their summoners at the level 1, so there wasn't a lot of opportunity to do that. Now they're all starting to come back up. Now maybe will be the chance to start to see some attempted outplays here. So far, it's just been Middlesticks quietly accruing a lead as they do manage to pick up that first blood in mid.
You want to highlight Heal It Up as well. I'm his biggest hater, but I'm also, want to talk about the things that he's doing well. And right now, you highlighted it earlier, just not able to get these, or excuse me, Max isn't able to get these caster minions just because of how well Heal It Up is playing. So credit to Heal It Up. I don't want to be all doom and gloom on the mid laner. Who needs cannons when you have the ability to keep minions away from the enemy team? That's, I'm sure, what he's saying to himself, as Puppey just has heat-seeking rockets on these Qs. I should stop talking.
Yeah, you curse him a little bit sometimes here and there, but going to still be building up a nice CS lead there. I mean, really not being able to build out the early CS lead for the Nyla and the Taric. Once they have their ulti combos, that's going to be the next big power spike that I want to keep my eyes open for. But good harassment coming through from Puppey. He has been able to get that early sheen, and Max somehow weaves in a charm there, even with the clone, and is going to push Heal It Up back, Heal It Up out of mana, but does still have the W and those procs. There's a reason that on-hit Nico's a thing, Bonfire.
Yeah, I think the funniest reason on hit Nico's a thing is so that you can turn into a minion and just auto someone to death and they don't realize. But it's also strong. It's a little bit of both. It's the humor and it's the ability to actually be competent. So unfortunately, we're not seeing on hit Nico. We're seeing AP Nico. But that still that ability, that W, as you so eloquently put it, still in the kit, and still able to get some damage across. Actually down in CS now because of that mana, and that's where we're starting to see some of those mana issues for the Nico. Heal It Up doing a good job of stopping a couple of minions being taken from Max 108, but the war of attrition is won by the Ahri.
Yeah. Shape Splitter is the name of the W. I looked it up. It's named after the active, not the passive. That's why I couldn't figure it out. But going to be a Dragon startup here for CGS. So not been able to secure the CS lead in the bottom lane, but are at least going to use this push and grab themselves an Air Lizard. Will be able to get it in to start things off and start that Dragon stacking, and are going to continue to build some space for Varker. He's going to be able to want to get those marks wherever possible. Has had one spawn on the top side though, so definitely not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, I don't think we have vision of it right now. I could be tunneling in on one thing too many. I'm curious what Varker's, how they're doing on the marks right now at the moment, how this Kindred is doing. The big number right there to look out for is 4. Is the most important number for Jhin, but also for this Kindred, because that's when you start to get those abilities.
Yeah, definitely here. Lion Eyes getting pushed in here by Cookie Krook, losing a whole bunch of minions, and going to try to farm them up as best as they can. They've been pretty much neck and neck this whole way through. As Dragowski looking for a little bit of a gank up into the top side, is going to throw down that ultimate and should be able to pick up this kill. Kooky Krook claims it.
Yeah, just way too easy in the top side. Kooky Krook chunks him down. Dragowski comes up top, and that is a dead Cassante. Not easy to do, but no unstoppable rage coming out, or not unstoppable rage, I'm sorry. No Cassante all out coming out, and so it's just going to be a dead Cassante. The gold lead continues to grow. 2,000 now, slowly inching it up. There's no 4-man Nico ultimate this game, but doesn't really matter. They're getting the gold lead no matter what.
Yeah, definitely here. I've lost my Parsec connection here, so you're going to have to cover for me, Bonfire, as I am checking out on the stream.
Oh, man, they get all of them there. Sorry. Good jokes there. Good jokes.
Play of my life. Missed.
Not a lot's happening. Not a lot's happening. Yeah, not a lot's happening right now as we wait for you to come back across the map. Just CS being taken. Parsec starting to fall, apparently.
All right. I got a Discord stream. We're good. We're all set. As I now can see at least a little bit of what's going on. Puppe going to be pushing up here with the rest of the squad. And now going to be setting up potentially for another dragon in the future here. It is a 2-0 lead for Return of the Middlesticks. They've been able to get themselves a couple of kills, but otherwise still very quiet.
Yeah, no, this game has been very quiet. It's like Christmas morning. The concerns that if somebody makes too much of a noise, Santa won't come. And right now, every single person is trying to do their best to not wake up the sleeping fat man. Or I guess he's not sleeping. The fat man coming down the chimney. This analogy has gotten worse the longer that it's gone on. As Lion Eyes might have his lane get worse the longer that he survives.
Yeah, Kooky Krook now finding an angle to go aggressive here. The Ghost not going to be popped, but going to still be on cooldown and going to be a nice chunk of damage there onto Lion Eyes. This is the power of that Olaf once you start to get an item in you. That is going to be a stun, though, coming through onto Boy Wonder. Are they going to commit the apotheosis? They do. They pull Boy Wonder back in, looking to finish him off, but the damage just isn't there. Joker's getting pushed back. Joker's taking at least as much as he puts out, and the Vi roaming down, but Dragowski going to get pushed back. Here's a teleport in from Kooky Krook. They throw in the cease and desist. Here comes the Cosmic Radiance, as well as the Lamb's Respite. Double protections come through for CGS, but now they've come and gone, and Joker's dropped as Kooky Krook is running across the map, using that Ragnarok to just pop off and take 2 kills. Joker and Dad Stealer drop, and Return of the Middlesticks gets 2 more.
Yeah, what looked like just a 2v2 trade ended up being a 4v4 bot lane fight, and already it's starting to get crazy. You hope there would be fireworks. Well, it is July 3rd, 11:59 right now. We are seeing just that.
Oh,
that was clean.
Huge solo kill there for Max, knowing that he has the flash, knowing that his Foxfire is going to find the target and deal the damage. Takes Heal It Up down and denies him a whole wave of minions while he's at it.
Yeah, it just looks like right now Middlesticks working so well as a team. Dragowski playing so well with the laners. And how about Joker alongside Varker, or actually not Joker, Dad Stealer and Varker, both using their ultimates at the same time? Maybe a bit of a miscommunication, concerns about that burst damage from the Olaf. They're just able to wait out that damage. Olaf doesn't take nearly enough, and they end up falling in the bot side for it. They get that early, or they get that 1v1 win in the mid lane as well. Solo Bolo. Return of the Middlesticks, man, putting the NACLQ on the spot. If you're an enemy team that has to play them next week or tomorrow, starting to get a little concerned that that number 18 maybe should be a little bit higher, because they are just decimating the number 30 right now.
Definitely doing a great start here as they're going to move forward. Dragowski looking for the solo kill, knows the Lamb's Respite is down and takes advantage. A 6th kill to Middlesticks.
Just an absolute murder in their own jungle. No place is safe right now, Gordo. The entire map feels volatile. Max 101, Max 108 was there as well. Kooky Krook too. The team play just so good from the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Dragowski, you're mid again.
Yeah, Max dashing forward, going to throw on out the Q, doesn't land it, but gets some good damage on to Heal It Up. Now, not going to be able to finish off the kill. The Pop Blossom shield is enough to keep Heal It Up safe, but now going to be down that ultimate, going to be on the back foot. Dragowski's ready to just move down, claim themselves a dragon.
Yeah, with the damage that they got onto the mid laner, and with the knowledge that Joker and Dad Stealer are backing, no concerns. Will steal or fight. No concerns at all. It feels like this game has just been another walk in the park for them. Other than a bit of a slow early game in Game 1 and Game 2 now, their mid games have been next to flawless for Return of the Middlesticks. This is just following alongside the trend right now.
Absolutely. Done such a good job at finding the fight angles, knowing how to execute in these 4-on-4s, these 5-on-5s. That's what's made the difference in these bot lane fights for Middlesticks in this series, and they stick on to that pace. We've got a 5k gold lead now. Will be Rift Herald claim for Varker to bring it back up to closer to 4k. Still, they are going to need to find themselves some big plays on the side of CGS to turn this game around. Return of the Middlesticks are starting to take control again.
Yeah, and they're getting 2 towers right now. Even if they don't get this second tower, that's at least what a Rift Herald charge would do onto a second turret. So yeah, it's a trade of Rift Herald 1-for-1, but they actually are able to get just about that much as well. I don't think they're concerned at all about losing the Rift Herald. And you see what it costed the side of CGS. They had to roam all 5 members. That time that they're using right there is time being wasted, not getting minions. Kruk has to pull off the Alamo right now if he wants to stop this, and he wants to try it.
He's at least throwing it down. He's going to be able to keep his Ragnarok alive as long as he keeps finding targets. Max is here as well. Cosmic Radiance is down. Varker does have access to the Lamb's Respite, so it's going to be real tough to find any kills here. But Kruk and Max, they do have level advantages still. Not going to pursue it any further. Just going to go for the recall.
So it ended up being a 2 towers for 2 towers trade along with the Rift Herald, but Pape able to extend that CS advantage in the bot side alongside the help of Boy Wonder and Dragowski. Don't think they're too mad about that trade. The gold lead still around the same that it's been this entire game, just continuing to grow slowly. No team has really blown this one open, but hasn't really felt like CGS has really been in this game since a couple of bad fights, and they don't even have themselves a kill yet. 6-0 in the kill department. They've done good with the towers, but in terms of the PvP of League of Legends, not so well.
That's definitely the case here. Have done well in lane, have been able to keep things even up until the moment where they aren't. And the moment where they aren't is usually when Middlesticks can get into these numbers advantages or these even number fights. They've just been working together so well as a team. This squad been coming together since the spring split. Made a couple of changes in between spring and summer, but the core stays true with Max, with Pape, and with Boy Wonder having been added at the end of last split, and they are looking so good together now with the addition of Kruk and Dragowski.
Yeah, I got to give Dragowski credit. I feel like he's been really the puppet master this game, this series as a whole. Played so well. That damage for Max, not pretty substantial right there, but as a whole, I feel like Dragowski has made everything sing. He's been leading the choir that is Return of the Middlesticks in this game, and it's been the same. 5 of the 6 kills has come from Dragowski.
Oh, ultimate pop by Kruk. Lion Eye is going to pop the ghost in response, but is just finding himself face to face with more members. Avoids the Vault Breaker, though, and that's enough for Middlesticks to decide not to pursue further. Lion Eyes has that movement speed, still says, hey, I got to get out of here while I still have the chance to do so. Joker gets chunked to half in the jungle by Max. And it looks like Middlesticks are going to say, all right, this has gone a little bit sideways. We haven't found the picks we wanted, and we're in a weird, awkward spot. We're going to back away.
Yeah, and again, I know it's a quiet thing, but that's the power of them.
Oh, the dash over the wall, though. They do find their pick somewhere or other. Heal it up. Chased over the wall, and Dragowski goes on a killing spree. Now Lion Eyes, he's returned to where he was earlier. He had the chance to get out. He took it, and he came back to the scene of the crime. Pape picks up that kill, and now the turret going to drop as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it comes down to. I wanted to say it earlier, but they had actually committed to the re-engage. That is the strength of Return of the Middlesticks these last 2 games, knowing when to go in and when not to. They've got great wards, great vision. They go together as a team. It rarely feels like they're taking a fight that they don't want.
Definitely. Middlesticks, you can see they're willing to dip their toes in non-committal and back out when the play doesn't look good, right? They went for Lion Eyes, didn't find him, backed away. Went for Joker, didn't find him, backed away. Then they find Heal It Up and they say, all right, this is just right. This is the engage we're looking for. Find the Goldilocks zone, and they pick themselves up a kill.
You made the reference. I was going to say they're the Goldilocks of the ACL, but you said it first, so I'll give you credit for it. But yeah, no, that's just right is a perfect way to put it. Huge credit to Boy Wonder for this vision. I mean, look at the map right now. Look at the littering of red wards across it. This jungle feels so dark for the side of CGS as they need to clear out this vision.
Definitely does. Middlesticks, they pick a quadrant, they take control, they group up. They're going to get the objective that's here while they're at it. And if anybody tries to come in and interrupt it, they're going to get shut down instantly.
Yeah, and it feels like they're good on the cross map as well. Keep an eye on Kooky Crew kind of quietly stopping these side landing pushes. I believe in our last cast together, we were watching a Risen game, and they had pushed all the way into the inhibitor turret, and you had mentioned that it's not so great to push that far because that kind of stops the threat of a side lane. That's exactly what's happening. This Olaf is able to pretty much grab both waves at the same time because of how far that initial push was with the Rift Herald, and because of that, there's no threat of a side lane. They can group up as 4, throw the Olaf on mid and top, and know that they're not going to lose a tower. They're not really going to lose a lot of map pressure because of it.
That is absolutely the advantage that they have at their hands. I mean, Middlesticks have now built up such a sizable lead that it's very difficult to do wrong, and they're very disciplined in how they're approaching these fights, so there's not a lot of opportunities to capitalize.
Yeah. What needs to happen, as we had mentioned in the draft, is we need to see this Nyla Taric really start to come online. The damage certainly can be there. Joker has fallen behind in the CS department, in the kill department, in the assist department, but Nyla is still a very strong champion when paired with the right support. Taric could just be that support. They're able to get that ultimate off. Apotheosis, then that could really scream doom and gloom, but right now they are just not able to get a footing. And
it is definitely where they've been struggling here. Puppey stepping up, stepping forward, looking, see where they can land this poke damage. Max is pushing on the bot lane the whole way through. Now going to be backing up, lurking around this Baron, threatening to be able to take it. And the vision is just so pinched away for CGS, they just don't have any opportunities to step forward.
Yeah, no, there's not a lot that they can do. And it's just a slow bleed out. And the threat of the Baron could force them into a fight. Now it's the take of the Baron, but just be threatening this one. Max not in the fight right now, does have teleport, and here we go. We might have a photo.
Yeah, he's gone in for the recall, is ready to take a TP, is ready to find the angle for this fight. It's not Lion Eyes stepping forward, it is Heal It Up, doing a little bit of a fake action here. Which one is the real Cassante? Which one is going to Pop Blossom you? They don't care. They're going to rip right forward. Heal it up. Lands Pop Blossom onto nobody. Lamb's Respite is thrown down to be able to kite it back, and the damage is coming through. It's pretty good from Varker. They managed to take down Kooky Krook. The shutdown goes over to the side of Joker. Heal It Up has lost his life, though, for that whiffed ultimate earlier on. It's a 4 versus 4. Max stepping up, pushing them back. The snare comes through onto the side of Dad Stealer. He's going to drop next, and now over the wall goes Puppey and Max. They're going to pick up the double kill as they take down Varker, and Lion Eyes is next on the menu. Joker left all alone on the side lane, and Max feels confident to take this one-on-one. The Nyla steps forward, but the snare a little too powerful, and they're going to have to limp away bleeding. Return of the Middlesticks win the fight.
Yeah, and it looked good at the start for CGS. Cosa Gaming did so good right there. Felt like they had a fantastic engage. They want to go again.
Another one potentially popping off here. Heal It Up, gonna force the flash out of Max. Knows that he's out of resources, knows that he's out of mana, but the Baron's already at half HP. Lion Eyes and Heal It Up, they're gonna have to do something right now if they want to keep this game alive. But the smite's already come through. Dragowski's claimed it, and Lion Eyes drops instantly. Heal It Up's the next target, trying to flash away. Gonna get the dazzle from their support to try to peel it off, but Puppey blinks forward and takes him down. Those are the missing 2 kills from the ace earlier on, and Return of the Middlesticks are in full control.
Return of the Middlesticks. No survivors, no prisoners of war. They do executions on the spot, and they ensure that nobody can come back to scream about how well they're doing. Caddy, this game is over, but it's not that over yet. Although it might feel like it if you're CGS. They might just want to go into the next week.
I've seen from production in my time, Bonfire.
Yeah.
No, but surely it's just him transitioning to a replay. Here we go.
You think so? Honestly, this replay kind of felt good at the beginning. They missed the right Nico, and so Heal It Up has a great opportunity here. Wants to get onto the Karma, doesn't have enough range, so the ultimate. This is fantastic from Varkater. To start off, they're doing so much damage. They're able to get the Olaf alone, but this entire time they're losing members as well, and then they just get slowly bled out. 10,000 gold difference right now. And this just turns into a slaughter across the map. We're seeing even more damage come out in real time. Just not a lot that they can do. That's fantastic from Max 108, who starting to make a name for themselves as a possible MVP of this series. And Cosa Gaming, apologies, are not really in this one anymore.
Yeah, definitely well on the back foot here. Dragowski fails a fault breaker over the wall, but just means that they get to spend more time with their friends as they step up and look for some damage on a Lion Eyes, who will be backed up underneath that turret. Going for the old 1-4 push here. Max making sure to escort these mid lanes waves in. Dragowski switching between the two along with Boy Wonder, threatening to make a play on either side.
Yeah, it is a slaughter, but it's okay. I mean, if you are CGS, I hate to say this one's over. You have to look towards next week, but the reality is, Return of the Middlesticks is one of the best teams that this league has to offer, and so you can't be too mad that you fell this fashion. That being said, things need to change. You need to start thinking about comps and how you approach lanes, matchups, all that good stuff. But the game's not over yet, so I should be quiet.
Yeah, Dragowski might be up a little far here, going to get focused down, but he's just so tanky, staying alive for so long, and now he's got the Lamb's Respite to keep him alive for longer. Max and Puppe completely untouched the whole way through. The resets are coming through for the Ahri. Max sees an opportunity to just keep dashing and keep killing. Gonna pick up the triple kill. Middlesticks goes up 18-1, and that's gonna be all she wrote for this series bonfire. A 5-for-0 ace to close things out in case you had any doubts. Return of the Middlesticks take a quick 2-0, move up to top of the group, and are looking like one of the best teams in the league.
Gordo, they had places to be. They could not wait around for these games to go past 30 minutes. They had to finish them as soon as possible, and that's exactly what they did. Absolute slaughter on the Rift today, and they made quick work of CGS. I think a lot of people thought Return of the Middlesticks could be one of the best teams in the league, but I think this week might have proven that they are the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, absolutely here. So that's been a super impressive series from the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Just really well played all around there. And, you know, not a lot of criticisms coming through here. I mean, they had some struggles in the early game, in game number 1. And those were all the struggles they had the whole series through. They've given up 2 kills since they started 0-3 in the kills department bonfire at the beginning of game number 1. So they gave up 1 kill in this game, and they gave up 1 more kill in the first game.
And they've benefited 40-something kills. So
yeah. It's a lot of money for charity.
Yeah, unfortunately not towards the Trevor alas. I was hoping for a penta with dominance of this size, but
yeah,
it was kind of everyone contributing. It was a little bit of everyone, I suppose.
Yep. Fishing around to see if we can get a little post-match interview here. I know these guys are super busy. They got a big weekend coming up ahead of them. So we'll see if they're ready and able to come on in. But overall, I mean, to break down the series, I mean, showing a whole bunch of great stuff here. Really like to see that bot lane centric play style from the side of Return of the Middlesticks. I called it out at the start of the night, right? This team, you know, rewind to the beginning of the winter split. And this team was all about Hoarder in the top lane. It was just about playing carries game in, game out, boosting up his stats. You know, ended up winning the All-Star top laner as a result of those crazy high top lane stats. But they said when we talked to JSS, their coach is saying, we want to be more flexible. We have Boy Wonder, Puppe in the bottom lane now. We want to be able to play through them. And that's going to be what we were looking for here tonight, and they showed it. I'm really excited. They've got Kooky Krook in the top lane now. We know he's got some carry pants on him as well. He's got a good Olaf. He's got a good Jax. He's been drawing bans on both of them. Showed a good Olaf game here today, and I'm excited to see if this team can play as flexibly as they need to. If they're huge threats on the Rift and in the draft, it's going to be a real exciting future for this team.
Yeah, no, I would 100% agree with everything said. I want to again sing the praise of Dragowski, a new addition like you talked about, kind of coming in at the end of last split, or actually I believe starting this split. Sorry,
yeah.
But one of the
Florida State College last split, I believe. Florida Southern College.
I was going to say go Seminoles. One of the stronger junglers I've seen in this league, and honestly in Aegis as a whole. Just not really much stuff to criticize. Maximizes the clear, has played honestly fantastic Vi. So far this split, by the way, 3-2-7, 5-1-13, and I did not get the stats from the Vi this last game, but it was very good. And so that's 3 Vi games of just pretty incredible stats. That's you know, that's like the challenger, you know, YouTube series stats right there. That's hanging around in silver when you're probably deserve to be a bit better. And that's the best league that, you know, we have to offer. So he's smurfing on people that are probably not used to being smurfed on. His Vi 100% should warrant a ban in future weeks.
Absolutely here. And we do have Max coming in for an interview. We're going to throw it to a quick break while we get that all set up, but we'll be back in just a couple of seconds, see what Max has to say about tonight's series. Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Champions League. We are joined by Max108 from Return of the Middlesticks. Congrats on your solid 2-0 victory tonight. Was this the expectation coming into the night, or did you think it might have been a little bit closer coming in?
It was kind of the expectations, right? We were practicing for the important games this weekend, so that's like the best you're gonna see out of us, our best champs and stuff.
Yeah, you talked about the best champs. We saw you play some pretty incredible champs. Dragowski, it felt like everyone had their own flavor of the month for what champs they wanted to dominate on this week. How big of a champ pool would you guys say that you have? Are you flexible when it comes to the draft, or do you sometimes feel a little constricted by bans and such?
Oh, we're really flexible. We have like a lot of picks on every lane, so we weren't really worried. Any bans that they throw at us, we had something in the back pocket.
Good stuff, good stuff. Want to ask a little bit about the roster changes coming into the split. You were part of this team back in the winter split. You guys made a pretty deep playoff run after adding Boy Wonder to the squad. You've added Kuki Kruk and Dragowski now off of some of the other ACL teams. What exactly were you guys looking for when you were looking to add some new players to the roster here? And how do you feel like you've integrated these two into your team?
It really feels like we needed some strong bone because mid game was kind of tough. Even if we had like winning lanes, it wasn't enough sometimes. With Cookie and Drag, like games are really easy because we have the same winning lanes, but now mid game is really easy because we're making the right plays at the right time, making the good fights.
Yeah, you highlighted it perfectly. And during the game, I was saying you guys just have an otherworldly sense to know when to go in, when not to go in. And that's going to carry you far. I think a place you'd love to be carried far is tomorrow and Sunday. NACLQ, you guys have a chance to etch your names into the possible NACL. Obviously, quite a lot of tournaments throughout the next couple weeks, but it all starts tomorrow. Anything you have to say about that coming up?
Yeah, we kind of got egoed by the analysts, honestly. Our seating's kind of low, but I think we're going to win a lot. So just watch us and how far we're going to go. I'm pretty sure we make it in anyways.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Coming in at the 18th seed, thinking you'll be able to make that top 16, get yourself a better one coming into the next split. Love to hear that coming through. And looking forward towards the rest of the ACL here. You guys were playing without bans for a lot of the winter split. How do you feel like you've been able to? Do you think that really made a huge difference in your run last playoffs, or do you think that the disadvantage was a little bit too great, or do you think you're like a much better team now than you were back then?
Honestly, both. I think we would have made it much further with bans because bans are kind of OP. But with this roster, honestly, I'm pretty sure we still win without bans because we're just like that much better. So bit of
But
both.
actually,
So.
I gotta ask, usually the last question is reserved for, say whatever you want, but I kind of have a two-parter. You can say whatever you want after you answer my one question, which is, what do the 108 stand for in your name? It was at the back of my mind the entire cast, and I'm really curious at this point.
It's my favorite number. It has like a weird meaning where like the ones means everything, the O means nothing, and then the 8 is like the infinity sign, like sideways.
All right.
It's some Buddhism shit, but I found it interesting.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the floor is yours there, Max. I mean, Bonfire promised it to you. Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to say as we close out the ACL and look ahead to the rest of the season and this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, shout out to the boys, and honestly, like, watch us on stream tomorrow. I think it'll be like really interesting games.
Awesome. Good to hear. Well, thank you for joining us, Max. Shout out to Middlesticks for their win here tonight, and best of luck to them coming up into the NACL qualifiers this upcoming weekend. Shout out as well to the rest of the squads that are going to be competing from the ACL: CCG, Water Buffaloes Unleashed, No AoE Damage, CB Gaming, Chaotic Solar, Cosa Gamers, and everyone else playing separate from their ACL orgs. Best of luck this weekend. Looking forward to seeing all of you guys there, and looking forward to seeing everybody else on the Aegis Champions League next week. We will be back next Friday with more games, but that is going to do it for tonight's stream. So thank you all for tuning in, and from myself, Bonfire, and Caddy on production, we'll see you next week.